If Tarkovsky was alive, would he be making YouTube videos?
Would he be a vlogger?
I don't know.
Would he have a podcast called Smodcast? And would he then riff with his friend, and his friend says something kind of dumb as a reference to a Canadian social issue or event that occurred in Edmonton, and then write a whole trilogy inspired by it?
I mean, I would not be surprised.
Tarkovsky seems like that kind of guy.
This is From Justin to Kane, a podcast where Mike Robertson and Bob LaRue watch one critically acclaimed film and one terrible film and talk about how they are the same.
Hey, everybody. This is From Justin to Kane. I'm Bob.
And I'm Mike.
And on this episode, we watched two really different and wonderful films for different reasons.
And yet, if you're a fan of the cast, if you're a friend of the pod, et cetera, then you will know that these movies are also very similar. Because that's what the whole point of this is.
And ideally, you watched both of them with us.
Yes, we did.
You saw the title of this episode, and you said, I gotta stop. I'm not gonna listen to this yet. I'm gonna watch these two movies. What were the movies, Mike?
The two movies we watched were Stalker
and
Yoga Hosers.
Yes.
So we watched Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky. I was gonna say Rublev, but that's a movie that he made.
That was his first movie. His first feature.
That's a little fun fact for you.
Yeah.
Save it for the podcast.
We're recording.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Then keep it in.
SOB. Okay.
And then the other one was Yoga Hosers, made by
Kevin Smith. Yeah. Also his first feature.
First feature.
Absolutely not true. If it was his first feature, I'm already going to shit talk the movie. It'd be more forgivable. Damn it. I'm so sorry.
We gotta edit that out.
All right. We'll cut it out.
Yoga
Hosers made by
Kevin Smith. 24 years into his career, he made arguably his worst film.
Yeah, and also the genesis of it is the most casual genesis of a film idea I've ever heard, which is just a light riff on a podcast.
Yes,
which then led to an entire feature-length screenplay being written as a sequel. As a spin-off, rather, not a sequel.
Yes.
So it's a spin-off, so it's in the same cinematic universe as the film Tusk, which was also a bit.
Yes.
On his podcast.
So, it's a bad movie. We'll admit that now.
Yeah.
But then also we have to also acknowledge that the movie was kind of made with a little bit of, who cares? We're just having fun kind of thing. And, you can kind of see that in the movie.
And it feels like an inside...
Yeah, it feels like an inside joke the entire time, which it 100% truly is, to the point where in the end credits, they actually just have the excerpt from the podcast of them just wheeze laughing.
I've got one question.
Yeah.
Do you think they put that in at the end after they saw the film and they realized what it was? They thought maybe if we show them where it came from, people will then like it. Do you think that was a choice, or do you think they were going to put that in? I don't
see, the thing is, I don't even know that they knew it was bad or that they cared.
That's totally fair. They probably didn't care.
Yeah, I can see, because it's such a family affair, hashtag Mary J. Blige, they probably were just like, this is fun. This is for us. The fans will eat it up kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it really feels that way when you're watching it. Also, as I was watching it, I was like, I can see a teenager watching that movie and loving it.
Yeah.
Like it being their favorite movie. Not unlike how Kevin Smith movies that I do not like now. I loved Mallrats when I was 13.
I loved Master of Disguise. Not a Kevin Smith film, but one that doesn't hold up as you age as a human being.
Exactly.
You grow up and you realize it's bad.
That's fine, though, I think.
Yeah, totally. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Again, I'm not above it.
Yeah, you're not above it.
All right. Hit us with the history of Stalker. Mike.
All right, so I'm gonna start it off with the less exciting history of the two films.
Exciting.
Oh, that is the film Stalker, made in 1979. It was a good movie, although it was not met with universal acclaim at the time. A lot of people thought it was boring.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh. And then also, it just wasn't like a box office hit, I don't think, either. But that's neither here nor there, because it is now regarded as one of the best films ever on many lists. a lot of Tarkovsky films are on that list. Here's a little background on the making of the film. So the film was shot multiple times with multiple cinematographers.
Really?
Yeah. The first time they made it, they got the film developed and it was improperly developed and it was kind of screwed up. So,
really?
Yeah. And so Tarkovsky basically just reshot the whole thing with a different cinematographer. He also apparently he was beefing a little bit with his go-to guy. Later, just in case you might want to see some sort of restored version of the original, it burned down in a house.
The original cut or the original.
The master's was in some lady's house and got burned.
Burned down.
She was like related to the production, then it just got burned. So
did she survive?
I don't remember. Let's just say she didn't, just to make the story more like
dramatic.
Epic. Yeah, it's more epic,
more existential.
Yeah,
cool.
So epic fail for Andrei Tarkovsky. There, you know what I'm saying?
What kind of idiot has to make a movie more than once?
Apparently, he made it 2.5 times.
Really? So
yeah.
He shot half of it again?
I read multiple different things, so I'm going to average it out. And the films were like identical pretty much. He basically just like, we got to redo that whole thing again. And then he just like reshot the whole thing as he shot it originally, which is a pretty funny move.
Pretty funny.
Instead of being like, I'm going to just make these changes, he's like, nope, I think I was doing it right the first time. So he reshot with a second cinematographer. Also, the Soviet film boards wanted to shut it down. He somehow convinced them to let him make it again if he made it into 2 parts, which is why you watched it in 2 parts.
Oh, interesting.
I watched it on the Criterion Blu-ray.
So they kept it all
1080, seen the way it was meant to be seen. And it was saw it as 1 part. And it works better as 1 part, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't actually imagine how they would split that up and have anybody want to see the second part.
It's pretty, mine just like played half and then just reloaded and played the second half without a break, but I can't. It's not like television where they write it so that there's always a cliffhanger or whatever.
Yeah.
It just like
just kind of ends.
It's like happening and it's like, oh, by the way, like 2 hours went by and it's over. You have another hour and 45 if you wish.
Yeah.
They're not in the room yet.
No.
They're still walking.
Yeah.
And talking.
Mm-hmm. So the film also has he makes use of a lot of Tarkovskian long takes. Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's only 142 shots in 163 minutes.
Wow.
So lots of...
The average shot is apparently 88 seconds.
That is a long-ass take.
Yeah.
So if you love shot-counter-shot style conversation, you are watching the wrong movie.
Yeah. Watch Yoga Hosers.
Watch Yoga Hosers because there's a lot of that in there. The film was based on a book called Roadside Picnic, the authors of which I don't remember the names of. They're also long in Russian.
Cool. So Russian novel.
I wouldn't be able to pronounce it if I tried, but also, yeah. So it's based on a science fiction novel called Roadside Picnic. The zone in the film was inspired by a nuclear accident that took place near Chelyabinsk in 1957, where several hundred square kilometers were polluted by fallout and abandoned. And to that point, the terms from the film were used when people were talking about the Chernobyl disaster kind of casually. Yeah. They would call it the zone, and then people who would actually go into the look after the power plant after it happened were called stalkers. Like that's what the language they used. Wow. Because I guess the movie was like well known enough around that area that we call them a stalker.
Yeah.
You know, but in a good accident.
Just like that. Also,
another thing about the film was something I found pretty interesting. Tarkovsky wanted to achieve the conceit of Aristotelian unity in a film. And so in the script for this, he thought that this would be a good film to do that. And in short, Aristotelian unity is as follows. It is 3 points. 1, unity of action, in that something should have one action that it follows with minimal subplots.
Yeah.
2, unity of time. Action should occur over no more than 24 or 48 hours. Unity of place, that being something should exist in a single physical space and shouldn't try to compress geography. Nor should the stage represent more than one place, which didn't happen.
No.
But also, we're not in a frickin' play Aristotle, okay? So just chill the F out, all you Aristotle heads. So that is kind of just like all of the stuff that I gleaned from Wikipedia.com and IMDb.com.
Great. That's super solid. That's a really good intro.
I mean, I actually took a Tarkovsky class in film school.
Yeah,
so I
did.
Probably could have done better had I actually gone through my old notes and stuff, but I kind of don't remember anything from that class because it was very dense, very dry.
Bet, hey?
During the labs, I remember falling asleep through many a Tarkovsky film.
I wonder what it's like to be an author or a filmmaker that you know your work will only be appreciated in an academic setting. Like academia will like completely dive into your work, but on a consumer level, you'll be sort of pushed to obscurity. You know what I mean? Like there are novelists and there are filmmakers whose work is often hard to read. But
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I would say, like,
I don't
David Foster
enjoy reading
Wallace.
Shakespeare.
Like nobody reads David Foster Wallace unless they're David Foster Wallace heads or they're in an academic setting and they're like, you have to read Infinite Jest.
No, I'm
even
actually
Kurt
reading
Vonnegut?
Infinite Jest right now.
I know you are.
And the reason is, and I think it's really the only reason people read Infinite Jest now, is to say that they did it, or because they're involved in some sort of twisted book club with friends, where they're just like, let's
One of those
see if we can
cults.
do this. Yeah. I'm going to see who can do this. So now there's a competition. You also don't want to fail your friends.
Yeah, but
Fail
also
in front of
you
your friends.
reading that book in what, like 28 days?
There's no time limit. It's kind of like before
Well, if
the
you're
end
in
of
a
the
book
summer.
club,
No, we're not actually going to talk about it. We're
I
just
know,
kind
but
of
I'm speaking
updating each other on our
hypothetically.
progress.
Well, I know. I'm friends with you on Facebook.
Yes,
I
you're
read
reading.
the thread. I'm very much in the loop. I own it. I've tried twice. Should we talk about Yoga Hosers? Also, a film I would argue is only really appreciated in an academic setting.
Go on.
No, that was a lie. There's no way a film studies class would ever delve into this cinematic thing.
Also, we're beefing with Smodcast fans right now.
Yeah, we totally are.
Just
aren't
by doing this.
we? Just by its existence alone, by this subject being discussed, we have enemies.
Having the unmitigated audacity to compare Yoga Hosers to one of
Stalker.
Tarkovsky's greatest films, one of the greatest films of the 20th century.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, you and I are bad people.
We're bad boys.
We're bad boys.
But chicks love bad boys.
They really do, especially
really do.
intellectual bad boys.
Yeah. Ones who delve into films academically, quasi-academically, I
I
dare
would
say.
argue not super academically.
What's the less than quasi?
Pseudo? No, that's more. Pseudo
No,
academically?
pseudo is pretending to be.
Then I would say pseudo.
Okay, we're pseudo-academically.
Yeah, I would say I'm pretending to approach this academically, even though I have no credentials. You do.
I do. Yeah, I have a film studies degree, and I actually took a Tarkovsky class and a Smith class.
Did you?
Hell no.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool. So, Yoga Hosers is the second film in the True North trilogy, which is still in the works. The first film is Tusk, which was a film made before this, and then this film was released in 2016. The genesis of this film is really interesting. A guy named Scott, is it Mosier?
That's right.
Mosier, who's the co-host of Smodcast with Kevin Smith. He made a comment. He was bringing up he made a comment after Kevin Smith brought up that Simon Metke, an Edmonton yoga instructor, was busted by the RCMP because he stole a piece of art from the Montreal Museum of Fine Art.
That's where we live.
Yeah, we do.
We live in Edmonton.
Yeah, we do. It's crazy. And then a local yogi was arrested. And Scott Moser made the joke of saying, "Oh, they probably said open up, Yoga Hoser."
Yes.
And then that got such a reaction on the internet that Kevin Smith then said in a subsequent episode of Smodcast, "That's going to be the title of my next film."
Yeah, it became an inside joke on the podcast where
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Hey, Yoga Hosers,"
Yeah, totally. So
which is like kind of fun. It's like WTF, the
Yeah.
Mark Maron podcast was like, "Hey, what the
fuckers.
Sorry,
Well, no.
sorry, mom.
We could put a beep over that.
Should this be a censored podcast? Let's decide now.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. If it's,
So who? I'm saying yes. You're saying no.
I'm saying no censored. This is raw.
Clean.
This is raw.
Cool.
Okay, rock for. I mean, wait. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
What are you gonna do, rock?
No.
All right.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh
my
no,
God.
he chose rock too.
Okay, let's try it here. Rock, paper, scissors.
I switched it up. I knew you were gonna
All
choose
right.
rock.
It's clean. It's a clean podcast.
No, I saying it's raw.
Oh, I was saying
win.
it's raw too.
You said it was clean.
No, I didn't.
Oh, damn it. Okay, so we're doing a clean podcast.
No, we're doing a. But I lost.
We're not going to retroactively bleep anything that we've already recorded, but anything
There's one
going
swear.
forward, no cursing.
Yeah, unless it happens because it's organic and we're
Yeah.
human.
That's right. Then it's not
Anyways.
censored. But also, true censorship is government censorship.
Yeah.
We're just doing this for
Fascists.
fun.
Topical.
Ooh.
Because fascism is a major component of this film.
That's correct.
Anywho, okay, so this film, so the genesis was a very casual thing, a phrase just brought up as a sort of riff in a setting not unlike what Mike and I are in right now.
Oh, yes. In a kitchen.
Just shooting the bleep, as one might say.
Nice.
Shooting the digestion, one might say.
The doo-doo.
Yeah, the doo-doo, the poo-poo.
Deuce.
Deuce, yeah.
What the deuce?
I do
That's
deduce.
Stewie. What the deuce?
Very good.
What the deuce, Brian? It doesn't sound as good when I hear it in headphones. Sounds better in IRL when people are just like, yeah,
When you don't
stop
actually
doing
hear
that.
yourself.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Yeah, so it was just like a bit, and then it became the title of the film. It became an inside joke on the podcast with the fans. And then it was a real family affair. So Kevin Smith wrote it. His daughter
Hashtag Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, hashtag Mary J. Blige. Very, very good. Very good. And Johnny Depp and his daughter are in this film.
Oh, my God.
Which is so weird. Johnny Depp did it because he's a huge fan of Mallrats and another film I can't recall. Saving Amy?
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Bob,
Wow.
you piece of garbage. How can
Chasing
you get this
Amy,
wrong?
It's easy.
Which also has a Criterion release, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
you own it?
I think it's the only. No. Heavens, no.
Come on, man.
I don't own a lot of Criterion movies. Stalker was just like a movie that I bought because it just came out. And
Oh, sorry. Jersey Girl and Chasing Amy
yeah, Jersey
were,
Girl and
were,
Chasing
were the two films that he loves.
Yeah,
And he's like, I'll
Mallrats.
totally do this.
Mallrats has not aged well.
Wow, very, very polite comment you just made. Anyways,
We can cut that out.
Yeah.
I don't want the legion of Smodcast listeners coming after us because we know they'll all hear
we
this.
just told them where we live.
Oh, no.
Then they only have 1 million people to pick from.
Yeah, that's right.
My address is...
We'll give you a hint as to where our location is so you can beat us up if you make sure that this podcast gets listened to
By as many people
by as
as
many
Smodcast.
people as Smodcast.
Yeah.
That's the only way that we'll reveal our location so you can beat us up for besmirching the name of the great K. Smith.
The clue is what?
I'm not telling them now. They have to, we have to achieve those kind of views and then that, or not, ear views.
I'd give
There,
up
I
my
fixed it.
anonymity to
For fame.
garner public attention as well as scrutiny. Right.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Yes. So Johnny Depp loves Chasing Amy and Jersey Girl, and then he's like, yeah, I'll totally be in this movie, and my daughter will too. Plus, she was in Tusk as well. So they reprised their roles as the Colleen C and Colleen M, and then they're yoga fans.
Talking to them, Mike.
Anywho, so it's a real family affair.
Hashtag Mary J. Blige.
Hashtag Mary J. Blige. This film is fascinating. It is a wild, wild ride. Kevin Smith had a hard time casting the Bratzies, which are wiener Nazis, mini wiener Nazis. He got a few people in and they all bailed, and he's like, okay, I'll just do it. And for the first time in 20 years, he had to shave his face.
Wow.
Because if you see it in the film, he has no facial hair.
I mean, that's great casting.
Really good
Because you
casting.
never would have guessed who it was.
No, but Kevin Smith himself, he wrote it, he directed it, he edited it, and he played the million henchmen, who are tiny little wiener Nazis who, for some reason, climb up butts to kill their victims.
Yes.
Which is fascinating. This film had really negative reception when it came out.
Oh, hell yes.
The reviews, there are no positive reviews of this film, to be honest. Like, this is truly a universally panned film, and there are a lot of harsh comments made against Kevin Smith as a filmmaker.
Well,
Because they're like, wow, 24 years into his career, into a once promising career, which is a very negative thing to have said in a review, but many, many reviewers agree that this is truly either an indication of his demise as a filmmaker, or it's a real slump, and he'll climb back out and get $5 more million to make another film that's maybe not a whim. I don't know.
well, yeah. He has made some good movies. Chasing Amy's got a Criterion Collection release. I don't like that movie. I think it's
That's fair.
not good.
I've never
Hasn't
seen it.
aged well. Very juvenile. Looks terrible.
Right.
Poorly shot.
Well,
But-
whose fault is that?
The camera guy, I guess, or the producer, or
Everybody. Collective. They deuced the bed.
yeah. But it represents the time and the place that it came out.
Yeah.
It's very 90s. It's very indie, post Sundance kind of movement.
Mm-hmm.
That movie deserves a place in history just for what it represents, I guess.
Fun fact
Not
was
necessarily
Sundance,
for being very
Yoga
good.
Hosers played at the Sundance 2016 Sundance Festival.
Oh my God.
2015 Sundance Festival. It was one or the other. I can't remember.
I feel like Kevin Smith he's got easy fingers in the
think
Sundance pie. I think he's kind of just like
sends a fax
grandfathered
to
in.
Robert Redford, and he's like, I got a new one. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
you got it. Sundance Kid says, okay.
Yep. That's good. But that's many people think that's his great movie. They're wrong. The best movie he's ever made, I think, is Dogma. It came right after. Looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. Pretty funny. Mm-hmm. That would have been a good movie to seriously compare, I think, to Stalker. But we're not doing that.
No, we're not. We're choosing one that's hated by the critics and one that's loved by the critics.
Yes, and Red State also apparently was a pretty good movie, which I never saw, but apparently says that's Kevin Smith's actual best film.
Yeah,
and that came out before Tusk. It's not that he can't make a good movie. It's
He
just that
he just followed
hasn't.
some impulses that were maybe questionable.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. You can see why he did it. It's a lot of fun. He also doesn't have anybody to please but his fans. Mm-hmm. And his fans are very into Kevin Smith to the point where he will release a book of things that were just transcribed from his podcast. So
Wow.
people will read a book of him talking about taking a dump, which is great in a conversation when you're just having fun with your friends talking about
reading that?
reading that. But people have bought this book, so it's like obviously
He knows how
he's
to
great at it.
get into the psyche of specific people and really be, I don't know, likable. Or there's something really attractive about him.
He did a good job of building a fan base in the 90s also when the internet kind of came out.
His timing was impeccable
Yeah,
on that front.
he did a
Because
good job.
socially, there was so much change at that time.
Yeah.
And he knows how to use social media too.
He was
He's
riding,
really smart.
He was riding the nerd wave also before it exploded, and we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. Yeah,
He got in before it was cool and hip.
yeah.
Which
So,
is also a remarkable and a hard thing to do, especially
Yeah.
now.
props to Kevin Smith for all that stuff.
All right. Do you want to kick it off there, Mike?
Yes, both are adaptations. One is an adaptation of a book. Mm-hmm. The other one is an adaptation of a inside joke on a podcast.
Great. That's really good.
Wow, this is going great. Bob said he had a whole page of notes.
All right,
He's
so-
clearly lying.
The first one, no, my first 4 notes are stretches, so I'm not going to do them.
Those are the best ones.
Well, I'll save them for later.
Save them for later.
My first one is like a lensing one. Both films
me?
have shots where in the very foreground of the frame is the back of a head, and then in the background and the majority of the frame is where that subject is looking. So in Stalker, in the first few minutes, there's a scene where the stalker is looking ahead, and you see the very back of his balding head, and then you see in the background where he's looking, and in Yoga Hosers, you see the back of the Bratzi's head as they climb into the buttholes of their victims.
Yes.
So both films really utilize this very subjective yet objective and really pretty intense camera angle where you see the back of their head. So you aren't them. It's not their POV, but you see exactly what they're seeing too. But the only part you don't see is the part of the frame they occupy, which is a really strange framing choice.
Yes, but both films did it. So both films are
did
great for doing that.
Uh-huh.
The opening of both films starts with a slow tracking in shot.
Yeah. Both films build themselves on a geographically specific and important place where the majority of the plot unfolds. So
Good.
In Stalker, obviously they want to make it to this room in the zone where your ideas and dreams can manifest. Mm-hmm. And in
Spoiler
Yoga
alert.
Hosers,
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, the fans, the listeners have seen this movie. If they haven't, why would they? They literally have no reason to listen to this.
Wait, if we were like the Insane Clown Posse, or
Which we
even
could
Kevin, or yes, we could be. Could be. You don't know.
Yeah.
We could be Violent J and Shaggy Tudo. You don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
You can probably
Well,
tell
we'll
from
let-
our voices, but you don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, they have fans called juggalos, if you didn't know. What would our hypothetical fans be called? A hypothetical being the operative word here. From Justin to
I was thinking Kelly Kane's.
Kelly Kane's?
Yeah.
Wait, why? Where's the Kane coming from?
Citizen Kane.
Oh, good. Kelly Kane's. Good.
Yeah. Kelly Kane's like, what's up, Kelly Kane's?
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Kelly Kane's? What's up, Kelly Stranats? What's up, Kelly Chefinatos?
Just Kelly and then something else.
Yeah.
I like it's
Although it's
good.
called From Justin to Kane, not From Kelly to Kane.
From Justin to Kane. Yeah.
I guess we could just call him Canies.
Canies.
Kane.
Call them canines.
Canines. Ooh. Yeah, okay. From now on.
What's up, canines?
What's up, canines?
We do love dogs.
We do love dogs.
Podcast loves dogs.
Must love dogs.
Yeah. Wow. A lot of thunder going on outside.
Thunderbolts and lightning.
Yeah, so both films have in their narrative and in the focus of the film, there's a geographic spot that is the reason the film is unfolding. So in Stalker, it's the room where your ideas can manifest and come true. And in Yoga Hosers, it is the A to Z store, convenience store, which is above a secret, spoiler alert, Nazi chamber.
What?
Yeah. I guess another thing is like, yeah, both the spoiler of each movie is also in that geographical location. That's another similarity. That's a tangential one off of the original one. But yeah, there you have it.
That's great. In both films, the central characters are on the run from a military presence of some kind.
Yes.
Fascistic military presence, even. Because you don't really get a sense of who the bad guys are in Stalker that are driving around in their trucks and like make sure people aren't on the streets.
Yeah.
But you get the sense that they're not good guys. You get the sense that they're kind of dressed Nazi-ish, but they're not Nazis, probably.
Yeah.
It's just like
very,
a
very totalitarian.
Dystopian, totalitarian.
Yeah.
A lot of syllables.
Yeah. Yeah. We love long words.
Also, both films, the first scene opens with children and cacophony.
Yes.
You have the child in bed while there's a train going in the background.
Yeah.
And in Yoga Hosers, it's the two teenagers playing music. Music in quotes.
Mike just air quoted. Yeah. Both films feature a character that is a writer in search of something.
Oh, interesting.
So Guy Lacroix, played by Johnny Depp, is a writer. He's an author. He's a published author, and he's also an investigator. And in Stalker, the writer, who goes by the name Ryder, is in search of something as well.
That's right.
And they both take the entire film to reach their conclusion of like what they're in search of. And I would argue both are just really lost.
Yeah, both don't really achieve
They
anything.
don't get even close.
No.
Goddamn close. Yeah.
On that tip, I will say the films bear a striking similarity in terms of the trio that's presented.
USOB.
Is that one
was
that you
mine?
have?
Yeah.
Well, you want to say it?
No. It's all yours.
In Yoga Hoser, Guy Lapointe is not unlike the Stalker, kind of a wizened figure who guides the other two people through their journey with also a limited degree of success, I would even say. And then the two other characters, the Colleens, they both have like a weird thing with their names in that they don't have a name because they're the Colleen, so we don't really know the difference between either of them.
Can I hop on that one?
Yeah, hop on.
Yeah, totally. So one I had was that they both go by their role, not their name. So
right.
Characters, so they're called the Yoga Hosers.
That's right.
That's what they're often addressed as versus their names. And then, in Stalker, it's like the writer, the professor. They don't go by names. The Stalker. So that's a kind of a wacky, weird thing.
Well, even the Stalker doesn't mean what you would think it means. Stalker normally means you walking after somebody and being a real creepo.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it means that you guide someone into a mythical zone that
Like a
kind of
real
has
creepo.
a fantastical room that grants wishes.
Yeah.
And in Yoga Hosers, they do yoga, but they do not. You never see a hose in the film ever. They never have hoses.
No, they don't. Both films, from a sort of a creative and artistic standpoint in their approach, rely on ambiguity for much of the film. In that, as a viewer, And I like that Tarkovsky said, he's like, I purposely made this a very, air quotes, deliberate film, which means very slow, very painstaking, very intentional, but arguably to some boring. I would say that Yoga Hosers has a similar approach. I mean, the opening number of the song made me not want to watch the rest of it, to be honest with you.
I will agree with that.
So of course, the technique was different, but both films have sort of this alienation to the audience right out of the gate. But as it unfolds, you get so little information, you don't really know what's going on a lot of the time.
It's so true.
And scenes keep happening, characters keep talking, and then you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're given information constantly, but it never actually matters.
No, that's wild.
Yeah. So that I would just say from a writing standpoint, I think they really both harnessed the same sort of approach and intention in their writing and the execution of the films, even though the techniques were different. Yeah. The outcome was the same in terms of, like, as an audience member, how you receive the information.
That's a good one.
Thanks. That's the first time you've ever complimented me.
Okay, well, I take it back. Feel free to edit. Feel free to edit this. Take me saying, "I like that one," or whatever I said.
Make it my ringtone.
No, well, you can do that too. But no, feel free to go to the other episodes and plug that in whenever you want. Yeah, Mike's not being nice enough to me.
The Mike compliment hour.
Yeah.
In every episode, you just have to compliment me on my pseudo-academic interpretation of these films.
Pseudo is a great...
I don't have a degree and you do. So if anybody's dishing out the compliments and they matter, it's you.
Oh, that's nice.
To me. There's definitely a power dynamic here, but we can talk about that later.
Yes.
Save it for the other cast.
I can definitely beat you up.
I mean, yeah.
The next point that I had was both films are kind of like part of a duo of films, if you could say.
Okay, yeah.
Stalker was a movie that was kind of released in two parts. Somewhat inexplicably.
Yeah.
And Yoga Hosers really only makes sense if you've seen the first part, which is Tusk.
Yeah, even though they are utterly unrelated.
Kind of,
plot-wise. They're just in the same cinematic universe.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting.
That's a really cool one.
And also, if you saw Stalker Part 1, but you never saw Stalker Part 2 or vice versa.
You'd be so lost.
You'd be so lost. So I'm sure you'd get a similar feeling.
Yeah.
Both films also feature an unhappy mother.
May I double down on that one? Both films.
Wrap it with chicken and cheese, please. Use chicken as the bun.
All right.
This episode was brought to you by KFC. Go to KFC and use the promo code from Justin to Kane. And just to
see what happens.
Just to see what happens, you'll probably confuse somebody.
Yeah, you might perplex them to such a degree
that they give you free chicken.
Free chicken. And guess what? It's going to be a sandwich, and guess what? Chicken's going to be the bun.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let me double down on that. Both films utilize a strained father-child relationship. So the one Colleen, who is the daughter of the owner of the convenience store, they have a strained relationship. They're very close, but they also try to, like, manipulate each other in Yoga Hosers, and like when the dad's trying to sleep with that stepmom / wicked woman that they interpret her as. Then they sing that song.
Then abandon immediately after that scene.
Yeah, then totally abandon. But they sing that song just to make him cry so that they're not, like, banging or whatever. And then in Stalker, the opening scene, or not the opening scene, but when the kid and the dad are sleeping, and then he has a bit of a fight with his wife about how bad their relationship is with their kid. So both films use that really sort of strained familial sort of power dynamic.
Yeah, that's good.
Or interaction. Yeah. So yeah.
Also, both films are pretty much a sausage party. There's three dudes. They are what you see for 95% of the film in Stalker. And in Yoga Hosers, there's, like, literal sausages. Having a great time, it seems like.
Having a great time, and then they get, like, beat up, and then they're yellow on the inside?
That's sauerkraut.
Oh. Interesting.
I actually, when I watched that, I was like, that's a nice touch.
That's funny. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that.
Also, both feature characters going through a long tunnel.
Yeah.
In Stalker, the characters walk through this, literal long tunnel. And in Yoga Hosers, sausage goes up a butt.
Yeah. And there is a tunnel as well, like a literal tunnel in Yoga Hosers when that toilet gets retracted.
That's right.
Yeah. So there are double tunnels.
It's a secret passageway.
Yeah.
That Yeah.
Leads to a
that
Nazi
only one
chamber.
person can guide them to.
Yeah. Both films, aesthetically speaking, reference Canada.
Yes.
Okay, so Yoga Hosers, obviously the film takes place in Winnipeg. And everybody is Canadian in the film, and there are toques worn, there are hockey jerseys worn.
Wait, that movie was set in Canada?
Yes.
I had no idea there was literally no references to anything remotely Canadian.
What are you talking about?
I want to hear that
Cool.
at least 100 more times.
Oh, you will. And in Stalker, the characters are really cold, and one of them wears a toque, and they all wear long jackets, and they have boots on. And there's a scene in the tunnel, and there are icicles that are forming and dripping. And the landscape looks very Canadian. It's very sort of like flat and tree, but also very cold and damp, which is an inherently Canadian natural aesthetic that I think people often think of when they think of Canada.
I would dare say that both films take place in a wasteland if you would say that Canada is a wasteland. And I've been to Winnipeg in the winter.
And it is.
And I think it's a bit of a wasteland in the winter.
Totally,
it's
man.
Too cold.
You have every right to say that.
I do
But
think
to all the peggers, are they called peggers? Is that an offensive term?
I have
don't know.
no idea.
I feel like
We'll call them peggers.
great. Great.
In both films, history is always haunting the present. So you have in Stalker the sense of nuclear destruction or nuclear wastelandiness that is, of like the Russia, USSR kind of area.
Yeah.
And then in Yoga Hosers, more explicitly, just the discussion of Canadian Nazis.
Yeah.
Nazism kind of like infecting Canada, which is very topical. This movie's more topical than it probably intended to be 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, that was probably the best part of the movie. I wonder if this is right. And I looked it up, and it was.
Really?
That's like it wasn't just made up.
That's so cool. Interesting.
So that was like a little bit of real
Haley
Canadian
Joel
history.
Osment is actually a Canadian Nazi?
Yes, he is, yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. That's amazing.
Both films also feature Haley Joel Osment playing a Canadian Nazi.
Yes. Both films have scenes in which a character wakes up and is confused. So in Yoga Hosers, Guy Lacroix and the two Colleen's...
Guy Lapointe.
Lapointe. Oh, yeah, Lapointe. I wrote Lacroix in my notes. Lapointe.
You were just thirsty.
Oh, yeah.
If you want some LaCroix or LaCroix, buy some
funny.
LaCroix and use the promo code from Justin to Kane.
And just see what
Just
that does.
see what happens.
You don't know unless you try, right?
Yeah.
So live life.
They might give you a discount on this LaCroix or LaCroix, however you pronounce it. I call it LaCroix.
I can't believe I called him the wrong name at least 4 times.
You are just thirsty.
Yeah.
You just wanted some fizzy water.
I love fizzy water. Anyways, he wakes up and so do the Colleens, and they're in the Nazi chamber, and he's like, "Whoa, what are we doing here?" And then there's a scene in Stalker during that sequence where there's little sand heaps, almost the moguls of sand, and
Yes.
then that one character who went ahead of them, the writer, I believe, wakes up and he's like, "Whoa, where am I?" Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, both of them are hashtag family affairs, hashtag Mary J. Blige. Because Yoga Hosers, how it's like the Smith family, his wife, his daughter, Johnny Depp's wife, Johnny Depp's daughter are all in the film, plus, Kevin Smith and Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Plus the View Askew family, that being Kevin Smith's podcast people and all the people who used to be in his movies, including, Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
And in Stalker, the poem that the woman or the little girl reads at the end is written by Tarkovsky's father,
Oh, wow.
who was a Russian poet.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a fun thing.
Oh, interesting. That is really interesting.
Both films deal with frames in interesting ways. That being the aspect ratio of the film appears to be a square. And in Yoga Hosers, the girls are looking at the world through Instagram frame, which is also a square.
Yes.
And then also, both films deal with filters, going back to the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Hashtag no filter. I'm just saying what I want. I just say what we're all thinking.
There is a filter in front of your face.
There is actually a pop filter, so not literally no filter.
Yeah.
So I
just wanna
apologize for
clarify.
lying. I
How
ironically
could you
said
do
no
that to
filter through a pop filter.
The Kellys, the Canines.
I know. Sorry, canines. And then in Stalker, there's a sepia filter, at least on the Criterion release.
Yeah.
Yes, and then also in the sense of framing, lots of shots in Stalker are filmed through or are framed through a doorway. Mm-hmm. So you get that kind of rectangular frame.
Yeah.
And same could be said about yoga hosers when the girls are looking through their phones, which are rectangles.
Yep.
Hashtag Black Mirror.
Hashtag Mary J. Blige.
Hashtag Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome.
I had a lot of connections there. Yeah. Both films, I brought up the Aristella. Just did a rewind. Both.
Yeah, I just had to wipe that magnetic tape we're recording on too. Whoops. Sorry about that, people.
But also, we're getting such great fidelity on this podcast.
Such great fidelity.
Such great fidelity.
What latitude we're getting.
Oh, I can just hear the room that we're getting. Can you just hear like all the headroom we got?
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
So good. Oh, it sounds so crisp. Just put it on a couple of great cans and just like lie in your bed and listen to this hot pod. Hot potties.
Who are you? Hashtag Mary J. Blige.
Hashtag Mary J. Blige. Who are you? Hashtag the who.
Hashtag CSI opening.
Hashtag
montage.
Hashtag taking the glasses off slowly.
Hashtag here's a zinger.
Hashtag yeah.
Hashtag Mary J. Blige.
Hashtag family affair. Both films could be considered to be following the Aristotelian unity that I brought up earlier.
Wow.
Because both films have one action that follows with minimal subplots. There's really only just one plot in this film, which is the Colleen's figuring out what the heck is going on with these sausages. Both have a unity of time. Seems like they both take place over 24 hours. And both kind of have like a unity of place. Like there's not a lot of locations in both films. Mm-hmm. Like they obviously don't just have one place, but they kind of stick to the store and they don't go too far from it. And then also in Stalker, obviously they go from wherever the heck they live in that weird wasteland town to the, whatever it's called, the zone. Mm-hmm. And that's it. So way to go, Kevin Smith, for keeping it Aristotelian.
Nice.
Okay, this is a great one. Both films deal with poison as a theme, in that both films poisoned the career of the filmmaker. So there was a literal poison on set that poisoned a few of the people, including Andrei Tarkovsky.
Do you know what the poison was?
I don't remember, no, but there was something in the water.
Oh my God.
Hashtag something in the water. Hashtag Dave Matthews Band. So, no, that was Don't Drink the Water. I take that one back. Don't drink the water. So there's something in the water in during one of the scenes in Stalker that a couple of people either ingested or breathed in, or some sort of like toxin that was around the set. Mm-hmm. And Tarkovsky himself was poisoned with it and then died of some sort of bronchial like poisoning. So this film poisoned Tarkovsky. And there I would say the same that Yoga Hosers poisoned the career of Kevin Smith. Yes. Like after this movie, it almost seems like he did irreparable damage to his career.
Yes.
Although we'll see what happens with Moose Jaw, or if he actually makes a really good movie after this.
But Kevin Smith also, for maybe unrelated reasons or because of stress or lifestyle, also did fall ill. And I believe he had a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he has dealt with health issues after this film.
He looks, if you see pictures of him now, he looks a lot thinner. Okay, lightning round. There's one dog that appears at the end of the film. Uh-huh. Both happen in both films. Both films, there is someone who loses hope in their vocation. That being the girls working at the place. Yeah. They feel like an existential dread. Same could be said about the stalker at the end of the film.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Faith is a theme in both films. Mm-hmm. Both Satanism and yoga. And then also the stalker believes in the miracles of the room, whereas the other two, more academics.
Very skeptical.
Very skeptical.
Pessimistic.
If they were on Reddit, they would be on Our Atheists for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Here's something I thought was interesting. So this was a quote from a book about Tarkovsky when I was doing some research.
Yeah.
Robert Bird, in a book called Andrei Tarkovsky, The Element of Cinema, says the aesthetic, that being ASCETIC, plot of a Stalker was a central part of a conscious strategy to focus attention most wholly on the image itself and avoid entertaining or surprising the spectator, which is what Tarkovsky himself said. It's like he didn't want to entertain them. I would say the same could be said about Yoga Hosers and Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because aesthetic is defined as characterized by or suggesting the practice of severe self-discipline and abstention from all forms of indulgence, typically for religious reasons. I do not think that Kevin Smith restrained himself from any form of indulgence. He really, 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 truly
indulged
himself in this film.
Yeah, he did. in a major way.
Also, Bergman also said of Tarkovsky that he got to the point where he was making quote unquote Tarkovsky films. Like, you know, when you watch a Bergman movie, you're watching a Bergman movie. When you're watching a Fellini movie, you're watching a Fellini movie. Kubrick, same thing.
Yeah.
All of the great auteurs are kind of doing what basically pastiche of their own work.
Can you say auteur one more time?
Yeah, a lot of auteurs.
Bless you.
Thank you. Are kind of doing pastiches of their own work.
Yeah.
Definitely Kevin Smith is guilty of that here.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like making the Kevin Smithiest freaking GD film in the entire, history of all films.
True that, man. Yeah.
Yeah. One last point.
And then I got the last one, a crowning one to finish.
Okay,
off.
good.
Yeah.
Both films kind of take place in an alternate universe. In Stalker, it's kind of like a future wasteland. Could even be now. Could have been in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Like the near future to when this film was made.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really look like they had a bunch of future robots or whatever running around. So it was like sci-fi.
Very lo-fi sci-fi.
Yeah, super lo-fi sci-fi.
Yeah.
And
a really good dream pop band.
Oh, yeah.
If we're really getting it. Anyways, doesn't matter.
And in Yoga Hosers, it takes place in the View Askew universe, as I understand it, which is the Kevin Smith cinematic universe.
Oh, interesting.
Which is why you see Jay and Silent Bob pop up in a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in Moose Jaws.
Thank God.
Snoochie Boochies, my Snoochies. I think that's what he says.
Oh my
Snoochie
God.
Boochie, my Snoochies.
I don't know, but I don't like what you're saying.
Also, both films, I feel, don't fully achieve the genre they were heading for.
Totally, yeah.
I don't think that Stalker is a great sci-fi movie. Oh. It's good at having sci-fi elements, but it's not like, oh, that's a good sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like Blade Runner or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Yoga Hosers could be said, I don't think it really achieved its goals of being a comedy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a sick burn.
Nice. Okay, the last similarity between these two, the runtime of Yoga Hosers is 88 minutes. Mm-hmm. The average length of a shot in Stalker, 88 seconds.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like Andrei Tarkovsky saw Yoga Hosers coming and was like, I'm going to make my shots a tribute to Kevin Smith's film. He had a fever dream. What is this? Is that Borat? All right, let's wrap this baby up.
Groovy.
Let's wrap this baby up. So what are your final thoughts on both films?
I think I don't love either of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think either film was particularly spectacular. Stalker's good, and I understand why it's good, but I didn't love watching it. I didn't think it was particularly entertaining. And I thought what it was discussing, both existentially and academically, is interesting, but unremarkable.
Not 3 hours.
It wasn't worth it.
No.
It just wasn't worth it. And then Yoga Hosers did not pull anything off.
No.
The only thing they pulled off was that I got to see Johnny Depp do the worst thing he's ever done.
Yes, and that's like a pretty tall order.
That's pretty, honestly, a crowning achievement for someone else.
Yes.
To achieve that.
Wow.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Mike?
I was not into Stalker for the first half an hour. And then by the end of it, you have like a really good kale smoothie.
Yeah.
Where you can still kind of taste the kale. I wish this had more literally anything but kale in it.
Right.
And then, so I was into it though by the end. I also watched on the Criterion Blu-ray, which really, really made a difference. I saw the the version you were watching, and it looked like a trash.
It did.
So yeah, you were watching like the toilet version of Stalker, whereas I was watching a beautiful like.
You deduced that I was watching the toilet version, and you were watching. I was definitely watching. Although yours was poopier because of the sepia.
Oh, I guess like in a way it was like I was watching it through poo. Yeah. They call it the poo filter in the biz. Yeah. Also in Stalker, they were out there for a long time. You never once saw them take a dump.
No, but how often in films? Like 12 Angry Men, you don't see them go to the bathroom.
I think we were.
You do, don't you?
Were you there when we were at this party and we were talking about starting a podcast called "When Did They Poop"?
No, and
I
love that concept.
We should definitely make a sidecast.
I think so.
A subcast. Pick a movie where they do not clearly, obviously poop on screen, and you just try and figure out the points in the film where a character logically would have pooped. It's so fun, and it's like unbelievably.
It's also very like cryptic.
Kind of cryptic, yeah. But you can like deduce deduce. You can deduce some clues from the films as to when somebody
can deduce when they deuced.
Yeah. There's probably a few times in Stalker where they deuced during, like when you're in the zone.
They had to. Like, you know that one guy, the stalker leaves for a while and lies down and has like a weird little nap in the bushes. For sure. Took a poop at some point in that time.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And like when they get to the actual room, that room may have actually had a bathroom in it. They may have like pooped
in a toilet.
In a real
with
toilet.
Plumbing.
Because it was like an old building.
Yeah.
Could have had working plumbing for some reason.
Probably did.
So to answer your actual question, I thought Stalker was better than I was expecting, but I also watched on the Criterion Blu-ray, which is really the only way to watch it now, unless you see it in a theater. So it was good. I thought it was pretty good. I also have seen a lot of Tarkovsky films in my life, and I'm used to how boring they are. So I kind of am just like,
this is only my
know what I'm getting myself into. Yeah, the second time when I was watching it when I came over, and you were watching the ending, I was like, oh yeah, this is way better. Just even watching the ending the second time.
Yeah.
This makes so much more sense. Yoga Hosers was better than I was expecting. I was actually expecting it to be completely abysmal, but it was actually pretty entertaining in a way. I didn't laugh at literally any of the jokes. I cringed at a lot of the millennial comedy, the Instagram stuff, epic fail. Like teens, am I right?
It really felt like an old dad.
It felt like a dad.
Being like, this is so funny because I don't really get it, but I'm going to try it out. Check out this sweet jab at my daughter.
Yeah.
Also, my daughter's in this movie.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to slightly objectify my daughter in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that happened.
When did they poop in that movie? That film does explain going to the bathroom a little bit.
There is a toilet pictured in the film.
There's a toilet, and also they like talk about being on their period, and they have like a sign saying like going to the bathroom or whatever that they put up on the window. And they talk about pooping because they poop together.
That's
they're
right.
best friends.
So they do talk about pooping. So that's that
Johnny
easy puzzle
Depp's
to solve.
daughter and Kevin Smith's daughter are best friends, and they poop together.
See?
In the cinematic universe of
The Viewisk universe.
Viewisk universe, yeah.
See, the When Did They Poop podcast is like a great idea. So you can't not keep going back to it.
I think it's got real traction for sure.
The When Did They Poop flopcast. So yeah, I thought Yoga Hosers was better than I was expecting. My only real critique, of which there are actually many, but my main critique is why make so many Canadian jokes? That's just a thing that I don't understand about American comedians. For whatever reason, just the most cliched, overdone Canadian jokes that were kind of beaten to death by Bob and Doug McKenzie
Yeah, no kidding.
are like being retread nonstop all the time.
Yeah.
Still, and every time that somebody says a boot, it's treated as being like a hilarious gag, just like we've been working up to this. A boot. Pat yourself on the back.
Nice work.
Go and take it.
Winnipeg.
Yeah, nice work, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Pucky Charms.
I know.
A to Z.
Yeah, Terry Fox Preparatory School.
Yeah, Canada, am I right? Yeah, there's a lot of Canada, am I right, going on in this movie, and I was like, please stop doing this.
Yeah.
But it did seem like it was a lot of fun to make. Did seem like it was a lot of fun for somebody to watch. Not me, but I got the sense, I could still project.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that it was fun for somebody.
It makes sense on a certain level.
Yeah, it makes sense on a certain level. Just as Stalker, I'm sure it makes sense to some people who are just like, I don't want to watch this boring Russian trash. But then some people are like, I got to watch my boring Russian trash. That's the difference between cinema and film. So thank you for listening.
We'll see you next time. And don't forget about that that code you can use.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about our code.
Literally any given situation. Just go and say, from Justin to Kane.
Yeah, the promo code from Justin to Kane.
You'll get things.
You will definitely be surprised at the results.
Make an account on the internet and then forget the password and then put that in as the password and see.
See what happens.
Just see.
Yeah. You might get locked out of your account. You might have to request a reset of password.
You might have to get that password emailed to you and then put in that password and then make your password from Justin to Kane.
Yes. Here's a question.
If you're a true K9, all your passwords will be from Justin to Kane.
Yes. By the way, to any K9s out there who have their password being from Justin to Kane, please email us and let us know so we can hack into your email account. See what dirty secrets are in your Google Drive.
And we
will start
our podcast has if you go to our website, we sell merch.
Yes.
We have lanyards.
Oh, so many
We
lanyards.
have visors. So there's no top part. It's just the visor part of a hat.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
great for
also-
like doing like some low stakes accounting on like an old
Yeah, or if you're like a
machine.
dealer at like an illegal
Yes.
gambling den.
Oh, it's great. Those visors are great for
Yeah,
that.
and they say, and then we also have pins that are just tiny,
Yes. Oh, it's the tiniest.
comedically
bit.
small. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we have a 10,000 piece puzzle
Oh, yes.
and a Sudoku book.
This
It's
is
unrelated. That's just a side hustle. I sell Sudoku books. I make them
that
myself.
it makes sense. I was wondering what.
I just write them out and then I just start erasing numbers and then I just release it and everything is 5 stars difficulty.
Just one page, just nines. All you just have to write is 9 everywhere.
Okay, all right.
So
we're just riffing and
Yeah.
recording now.
The movie Stalker has the letter K in it.
Yeah.
The movie Yoga Hoser, somebody says 9, as in German. Mm-hmm. Between both films, K9. The name of the From Justin to Kane fans.
And that is why we picked those 2 films.
Yeah, that's why we picked those 2 films.
We didn't just come up with that.
Is a reveal.
I didn't just come up with the Sudoku thing. I've been doing that for years.
Yes.
And nobody's buying. Please go on the website. It's on the 3rd page. You have to click through a few of them. You go through all the merch, and then at the very back, it's like going to the back store, the back of a store, and be like, "Do you sell Sudoku?" And then the staff begrudgingly pull out Sudoku from the back room. It's that part of the internet. If you go there, you'll see my Sudoku books. They look handmade because they are. I write it out on a loose leaf, and then I use duct tape to bind it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's super, I would say organic.
It's very DIY, very handmade, very, dare I say, slipshod, but also pretty high quality product that
Yeah,
I would
they're
be happy
each-
to sell in our
They're all
online
different.
store.
Some are unsolvable.
Also,
I'll admit it.
Also, in our online store,
I'm not
you can
perfect.
Also, in our online store, you can get the collectible baseball cards,
Yeah.
which is just right now. There's only 2 available, and it's just
They're both
me,
of Mike.
and they're both of me. Yes,
Yeah. There's mean Mike and nice Mike.
yeah, yeah. If I'm
Once
mean,
is
I'm the
nice.
pitcher. If I'm nice, I'm the batter.
Yeah. And then I'm the back catcher in both photos. So
Yeah.
I'm back catching behind the pitcher.
And yeah, in one of the cards,
Just buy my Sudoku.
in one of the cards, he's kind of blurry in the background, and the other one, he's kind of blocked by my butt. Yeah. The blurry in the background one is the picture one, because that is a behind photo of me. So you can see Bob, but you can't see me, because it wouldn't make sense for the back catcher to be behind me. If I was facing the camera, he would be the second baseman. So in order to make Bob be in the photo, because he insisted on being the back catcher, that's what we had to do.
Just buy the Sudoku book. I need money, please. It's my income. I'm in serious financial trouble. Okay.
Yeah, don't forget also the website is .net, not .com. So
Yeah.
don't go to the .com version,
It's
go to the .net.
.onion. It's on the dark web.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Like again, like the back store of a, when you go to Dollarama and you're looking for specific light bulbs and they don't have it, but sometimes they do, and then you ask the sole staff member who is behind the cash register if they'll go into the back and look for it, and then they say, "No, are you kidding me? Do you see this lineup? There's 35 people in this lineup.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave my station to go get a stupid light bulb for you."
You've literally done that. This sounds like it was
Yes.
ripped straight from history.
Yeah, it
Your
is.
history.
Yeah, so just buy the Sudoku, and then I don't have to buy my light bulbs.
You heard it here,
at
folks.
Dollarama.
We've
Yeah.
got some Sudokus for sale. Buy them.
Yeah.
Bob needs it to
say
live.
the
He needs
promo
it to
code
eat.
at
That's right.
Dollarama, and then they asked me to leave.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that was going to happen until I asked.
That's the only way to find out.
Yeah.
That's the only way to find out if you're
And then
going to
they
get
gave
kicked
me
out
a
of
free
your place of business.
chicken sandwich.
Oh, that's a surprise.
I know.
So you got free chicken even after you got kicked out.
Yeah. They felt bad.
Yeah,
And
well,
I gave them a free Sudoku. Then they did a few on their break, and they were like, "You know what? This ain't half bad."
and then you made a new friend that day.
I did. Started out as an antagonistic relationship, and it became very much a companionship by the end.
In fact, that person
That's
is...
how I met you, Mike.
That's right, yeah.
What happened to
That
us?
person is me.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's how I know the promo code now.
Yeah.
Even though it was my idea for the podcast in the first place.
I'm the back catcher behind the pitcher. Just buy the Sudoku.
Bye. This is Justin the Kane. Bye.